What's up guys, welcome back to our marvelous channel. Today we're back with a whole new list of creature features, but with a bit of a twist. When we say aquatic horror, what's the first thing that comes to mind? Sharks? We bet it's sharks, and that's no surprise given that we all grew up with Jaws and Deep Blue Sea. But today, we're diving in even deeper. From crocs and piranhas to creatures as ancient as time itself, these 10 films are gonna blow you out of the water. And it's not just creatures, it's the isolation, the suffocation, the panic, all of it. If the water doesn't drown you, the fear surely will. So get ready to hold your breath because we're diving into the 10 most horrifying aquatic horror films. Let's get into it. Below 2002. Imagine World War II is raging all around you and you're part of the crew for the US Navy submarine USS Tiger Shark. Oh, whoops, I guess sharks did make it into this video. Anyways, the submarine is on its way for a rescue mission to save the survivors of a sunken ship. Why is this ship sinking? What went wrong? Well, I guess the Navy didn't bother asking too many questions and the results were truly disastrous. They pick up 3 survivors, a nurse, Claire Page, and 2 men, one of them wounded. Turns out the wounded man was a German prisoner of war, Bernhard Schillings. Now somehow, the ship keeps running into a German destroyer, and the commanding officer, Lieutenant Bryce, suspects Bernhard of somehow making noise and signaling the enemies. Unfortunately, things escalate, and suddenly Bryce shoots the German. Soon after, eerie stuff starts to happen. People aboard the submarine start hearing disembodied voices. People even see the previous commander's ghost. Everyone starts dying in weird accidents all over the ship. Now, according to one of the crew members called Weird Wally, he suggests that the ship is haunted by a malediction that's stuck in the netherworld between hell and heaven. What we liked about this film was that they kept the whole creature and supernatural thing ambiguous. Is it the guilt or the secrets, or is it just ghosts? Who knows? They also do a really good job in creating that claustrophobic environment with tight spaces and corridors submerged underwater, and the building secrets keep the tension simmering right at the surface. There's also this cat and mouse chase where you're just waiting for the next victim. This is exactly what aquatic horror is supposed to be. And fun fact, a lot of the filming took place on an actual World War II submarine, so it feels even more real. This is a great film if you're looking for one of those plots that shows how human sin is the biggest horror there is. Leviathan, 1989. Oh, now this one's your typical creature feature that low-key feels like a combination of Alien and The Thing, just underwater. We've got a huge corporation, Tri-Oceanic Corp, that's sending a team led by geologist Stephen Beck for a massive mining operation deep underwater. Humans shouldn't really mess with the oceans, man. We have no idea what's hiding down there, and that's a lesson these guys learned the hard way. See, during the mining, the crew finds a submerged Soviet ship called the Leviathan, from which they salvage a safe containing records of a bunch of crew members dying and even a video log from the captain that explains a weird, unexplainable medical issue plaguing the crew. They also find out that the ship was deliberately sunk. Now, that's mysterious and spooky, isn't it? Soon, one by one, the mining crew shows weird symptoms such as hair loss and lesions on their backs. They start dying, except there's something off about the corpses. Even after death, they seem to be mutating and moving. Turns out, Leviathan had been doing these illegal experiments on the crew members using fish DNA and genetic manipulation, and some of the mining crew had drunk the vodka they retrieved from the sunken ship. I guess that's the danger of drinking alcohol you find on abandoned shipwrecks. Then, we finally get to see the creature, and it's a hell of a sight. It has some really great practical effects, and the creature itself looks decent. It went full-on prosthetics and animatronics in a world that was yet to see the CGI boom. The creature has hands and legs and tentacles coming out of God knows where. Even the faces of crew members are protruding out of its body. It's absolutely horrific body horror, and we actually really enjoyed the film because of it. Piranha, 1978. Okay guys, it's admittedly a guilty pleasure, but we can't tell you how much we love and enjoy the Piranha films. They're entertaining and fun, and we particularly love the moments where the piranhas attack and the water just bubbles red. We know it's fake blood and probably just coloring of some sort, but that didn't reduce our excitement one bit. This series of films was just peak B-movie fun, and Piranha from 1978 is what started it all. The film begins with 2 teenagers meeting their end at an abandoned pool in a military military complex. Of course, the creatures responsible were piranhas. And when skip tracer Maggie McCown was sniffing around to figure out what happened to the teens, she accidentally released the whole school of dangerous piranhas into the local river, which went past a summer camp and even a resort. Yup, things get real messy and real bloody. Plus, these aren't even regular piranhas. They're a mutant strain created during Vietnam War project Operation Razor Teeth. Yup, that sounds pretty accurate, doesn't it? So, naturally, these creatures are even more terrifying. It also doesn't help that they attack in a swarm. I mean, just their sheer numbers are scary. All in all, this film's a great package. It has fun, fear, some really gruesome scenes, and a bunch of dark humor. Hell, even Steven Spielberg described the film as the best of the Jaws ripoffs, and we couldn't agree more. It knows its formula, sticks to it, and does it well. What else could we want from a movie called Piranha? The Host, 2006. Okay, so considering that this film was directed by Bong Joon-ho, who directed Parasite and Memories of Murder, we had high hopes going into it. Holy shit, did it ever deliver. It really gives you a different flavor of aquatic horror, with the typical Bong Joon-ho flair, and this one deserves all the praise it gets. In fact, Bong had always wanted to get into monster films inspired by Godzilla, and we guess this was his opportunity. The basic premise is pretty simple. There's a huge tentacled monster that emerges from Seoul's Han River and kills a whole bunch of people, but when it kidnaps young Seo, the Park family will go to any length possible to save her and get her back. Let me tell you, it's fast-paced, it's thrilling, it's engaging, and it really keeps you hooked, all while also delving into family dynamics and layered with commentary on class, bureaucracy, and more. It's also the perfect mix of horror and comedy. The comedy isn't super obvious, it's more of these weird moments, and that's what makes it blend so seamlessly. Oh, also, the effects are just so good. You could honestly watch the film just for the special effects. Funnily enough, director Bong Joon-ho and the designer of the creature nicknamed it Steve Buscemi, so you can clearly see where this film gets its quirky sense of humor from. Also, the very beginning incident of the film was actually inspired by real events when formaldehyde was dumped into the Han River all the way back in 2000. What's interesting is that not everyone really connected with the film. Turns out, despite its brilliance, The Host has a whole audience that it just couldn't click with. We would say that if you love watching acclaimed films and appreciate genre-bending experiments, you're probably going to thoroughly enjoy this one. But if you're just looking for some gore and fun, then maybe Piranha is more up your alley. No worries, because this list has something for everyone. Deep Rising, 1988. Look out guys, because we got some more tentacles in the mix, and Deep Rising's got pirates and mercenaries battling it out with these slimy creature monsters. Let me explain. The film revolves around this ship called the Argonautica, which is a luxury cruise ship owned by Simon Canton, but suddenly a group of mercenaries ends up hijacking the ship only to find out that the passengers have already fallen victim to something far more sinister, and now they're about to be face to face with that very same creature. The twist in the story was that the hijacking had actually been ordered and masterminded by Canton so that he could cash in on all that insurance money, but turns out greed can turn truly fatal. Now, as for the creatures, they're hypothesized to be an evolution of Otoya, which are these worm-like thingies. But surprise, surprise, those were all just tentacles of a huge cephalopod-like monster called the Octolus. And this creature is pretty scary. It's also hella smart and manages to strategically hunt down its prey. Plus, the effects are pretty decent for 1988, the action is good, and even the acting works. The actors have surprisingly good chemistry for what's supposed to be just a B-monster movie. And trust us when we say the ending will stick with you long after the film is over. Sometimes I still stay up at night thinking about it. It's a forever classic, and you guys should definitely check it out. Lake Placid, 1999. Oh, now this one's another guilty pleasure from back in the day. Believe us when we say we love croc films. Lake Placid, Blackwater, all of them. We've literally lost count of how many times we've watched these films, and the premise is pretty simple. There's a huge man-eating crocodile on the loose, and it's scaring and also killing the hell out of the residents of Black Lake, Maine. Eventually, a team of experts comes into the picture, of course. You've got a fish and wildlife officer, a paleontologist, and a mythology professor who's apparently a crocodile geek. Sounds like a fun hobby until your head gets ripped off by a croc. Now, there are some specific scenes in this film that we absolutely love. First has to be the grizzly bear being absolutely devoured and dragged off by this huge-ass croc. Also, the crocodile attacking the helicopter and revealing that it's not one, but two crocodiles. And the best part has to be Dolores Bickerman, played by the legendary Betty White, who feeds the crocodiles massive full-grown cows, and the ending reveals that the two crocs were actually mating, and Dolores is now feeding a bunch of baby crocodiles. Now that's what we call sequel bait. The film is fun, it's entertaining, and the actors have good chemistry and interactions, and the movie managed to achieve this despite the continuous filming delays because of bad weather. Interestingly, the crocodile in CGI and animatronic form has about 3 minutes and 43 seconds of screen time, but the film never lets you feel its absence. The threat always feels real, and there's a lot of really good croc action. If you haven't seen the film, you've got to give this one a shot. In fact, dive into the entire series and let us know what you think. Deep Star 6, 1989. Now, this one's no crocodile flick. We're going way back into history with some alien creature action. We've also got yet another deep-sea U.S. naval facility called Deep Star 6, which is installing a nuclear missile storage platform. We're starting to think that these hidden military facilities are more trouble than they're worth. Anyways, these guys find a hidden cavern, which they obviously explode and make it collapse. But little did they know that they unleashed a prehistoric creature that would start to wreak havoc. Fun fact, the stunt coordinator for this film was Kane Hodder, who plays Jason Voorhees in a bunch of the Friday the 13th movies. That makes sense considering the director of Deep Star 6 was Sean S. Cunningham, who also directed a bunch of Friday the 13th films. That said, this film is nothing brilliant, especially considering the wonderful list we've had up until now. There's a whole bunch of underwritten characters that really let the film down. The special effects for the creature are so-so, especially considering the small budget of the film. It's part of the overwhelming number of alien clones that came out in the late 80s and early 90s. Some of them were pretty good, but not this one. All in all, it's a pretty basic sci-fi B-movie that doesn't add too much value to the genre, but it's still watchable, and that might be the nicest thing we can say about it. Underwater, 2020. Okay, so we're back with a far better entry for this list. The plot is pretty similar to Deep Star 6 and many other underwater films. You've got a research and drilling facility at the bottom of the ocean in the Mariana Trench, and you've got a massive mysterious earthquake that almost destroys the whole thing. Oh, and did I forget to mention that we're in the far-flung future of 2050? Naturally, the crew is just trying to get to safety, but maybe an earthquake isn't what they're really running from, because you've got deep-sea humanoid creatures on the loose as well. And there isn't just one or two, there's way more than you can even count. Whole nests. They look like a crab, a squid, a human, and an alien made love and had a baby. I'm not sure we can describe it any better than that. They walk on 2 feet and have weird web-like gills attaching their hands to their torso. It's a pretty interesting take on aquatic horror, and the film overall is pretty solid. We like the pacing. It keeps things tight and tense. The actors do a really great job. It might just be our love for Kristen Stewart, but we thought she was great in this film too. Fun fact, the actors all had to wear these super heavy suits during filming that weighed like 140 pounds, and they couldn't even hear the director's commands. The only glaring issue we have with this film is the science. It's just all over the place, guys. I haven't been in a science class since high school, and even I can see the flaws. But if you can ignore all of that, the experience is amazing because of how good the film looks. The CGI is insane, and everything looks and feels real. That's probably our favorite part of the film, except for Kristen Stewart, of course. Humanoids from the Deep, 1980. We don't even know where to start with this intense exploitation flick. If you're a teenager or a kid, this one definitely isn't for you. If you've ever imagined a sleazy, perverted sea monster, then look no further. This film is set in the Pacific Northwest town of Noyo, where humanoid sea creatures start killing the town residents and raping the women. Their only savior is a biologist named Dr. Susan Drake. That's it. That's the story. No more, no less. And the film delivers exactly what it promises. A whole bunch of nudity. Funnily enough, producer Roger Corman wanted even more sex and nudity in the film and shot these extra scenes where the humanoid monsters attack and rip the clothing off of other young women. Naturally, director Barbara Peters was absolutely not on board with the idea and only agreed when Corman promised to run the new footage by her before including it in the final film. And guess what? He didn't. The cast and crew only found out when they saw the horrifying end result during the film preview. What was even sadder was that Corman sacrificed scenes that built the story, showed character development, and actually made the film worth watching, all for some titties on screen. Now, here's our controversial opinion. The film isn't all that bad. It's meant to be a sleazy B-movie from the 80s, and it does that really well. We like that it goes all in instead of playing the middle ground. It's self-aware, proud, and decently entertaining. I mean, the creature will definitely plague your nightmares, and we still cringe just thinking about it. But if you're looking for more subtlety and an intriguing plot, you might want to skip this one. The Abyss, 1989. We're ending this list with a banger. Way before he created Avatar, James Cameron had a far more twisted vision of the underwater. And I mean, goddamn, he had our hearts pounding with this one. It's sci-fi, fantasy, philosophy, and horror all in one package. I mean, how does he even manage that? The story has a diving crew take up a top-secret rescue operation where they have to go looking for a lost nuclear submarine, but they end up face-to-face with these alien creatures. And these aren't just any alien-looking aliens, they're sci-fi, virtual reality, light years ahead of Earth kind of aliens. Hell, there's even an alien ship in the film, and all of it is simply cutting edge. It's honestly so impressive how Cameron brings this flair to all of his films. They're always so visually compelling. The practical effects are genuinely through the roof here. We could just go on and on about it. Plus, the actors do their job so well, you sometimes forget you're supposed to focus on the creature and not the love story. This film has a whole lot of heart, a not-so-preachy message, and a lot of sci-fi action to keep you hooked. This one's a must-watch. You won't be regretting it anytime soon. That's the list, guys. There's something in it for everyone, and that's what we love about this genre. The variability truly shines. You've got entertaining B-movies and Bong Joon-ho masterpieces all on the same list. So which one of these was your favorite? Let us know in the comments section down below, and as always, when you're down there, don't forget to smash the like button and subscribe to the channel if you enjoyed the video. As for us, well, we'll see you next time, but maybe don't venture into too many bodies of water until then.